pow wow wow. They want to find the treasure, they want to find it now. They are K-Pro and they are Cow. They're going over it and over it and over it again. This treasure hunt created by Forrest Fenn. Sing it! K-Pro, Cow, pow wow.
Okay, how's it going, everybody? Today is July 15th, Monday, July 15th. So it is the K-Pro Cow Powwow.
Gosh darn it.
What are you doing?
I am throwing my, so I like to have it where I can type. I don't have anything on here where the thing is because that's StreamYard. So yeah. So just to be clear, we usually go live on Mondays for, I don't know, years and years and years, 7 or 8 years. But we took a little break because we had the World Series of Poker, not the World Series of Fenn, the World Series of Poker. We'll do a separate show on that because it was awful. And Mike actually cashed a couple times. I did not. So we are back tonight. And I know there's a lot of new people because the JCB hunt is coming up. So we are going to answer questions, treasure hunt related questions. But there's a lot that's happened, lots of little things with lots of different hunts. Many of you guys reached out to me about what do you think about this hunt or that hunt now that, you know, the Treasure Hunt Amusement Park is opening up to and including the JCB hunt. And so we have all those things to talk about. We will jump into questions as you have them. Put at Cowlazars or at KPro in the chat. If you have a question, but again, we're not going to really talk about solves. We appreciate all your solves on a hunt that ended 4 years ago. But we're kind of moving beyond that. And we are right, Mike, over to you.
Yeah, well, guess what? Your solves are wrong. It's just that simple. So I don't know how else to tell you. I don't know how else to put it. Don't know how to sugarcoat it. But for all you who thought you were right, you weren't. I mean, it's just that simple. It's okay. We were all wrong one way or another. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, ask me anything if you guys have any questions. Other than that, I guess K-Pro wanted to give updates, but I don't think there's any updates to give. So I'm not sure what she wants to talk about. But we can talk about whatever you want.
Well, okay. I'll hold off to JCB and the chase for a second. How about, so there's a hunt out there that's called like the Genie's Lamp. Supposedly they gave out $1.2 million and they're giving out another $1 million. So I tried to go on their YouTube. Their YouTube, they gave out $1 million. Their YouTube has less than 10 views. I went on their website. They didn't have, I hit the contact me page. There was an error. So you could email the winner, like when you win. And it's a pay to play. And I know, so I'm starting to get the Blackbeard vibes. And I know several people because I started asking about it on YouTube and other places. And they were saying, and I think you said, Mike, but someone went on the news. Right. But does that really mean anything? Someone went on the news and said, yeah, these guys gave us $1 million. Who are they? Is there anything more that you know about this? Because this would be a huge amusement park ride, but I don't know.
Just doesn't sound, it doesn't really pass the smell test. So how are you doing $1 million hunt when nobody knows about it, when it's, you only have a couple views? Could be legit. I mean, it's possible, but it doesn't seem like it. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, Mike, how do you know that your solve is wrong and all that? How do you know, Mike?
No, it's how do I know your solve is wrong?
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing, guys. Forrest Fenn hit a treasure chest, and 10 years later, Jack Stu found it. That's how I know yours is wrong, unless yours was 9 Mile Hole and Jack just got it first. So I know people say, but there's a second chest. Right, but there's no evidence that there's a second chest. I'm sorry, there just isn't. Forrest never talked about a second chest.
Yeah,
Forrest
and
said
Shiloh said no more. Yeah, Shiloh said no second chest. So
right. So I mean, and hey, anybody can believe whatever they want. I'm not telling anybody you can't believe what you want to. I'm just telling you that your solve's wrong if it wasn't 9 Mile Hole. Just like everybody else's was wrong if it wasn't 9 Mile Hole. Now, if something comes out that refutes 9 Mile Hole and says, hey, Jack didn't find it in 9 Mile Hole, Jack found it over here. Okay, let's talk about it. But I haven't seen that yet. The best case that we have so far through the emails, I mean, we've been over all this so many times. It's been 4 years. Is 9 Mile Hole from the court case. So that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a question. K-Pro, I was at the 9 Mile Hole location a couple days ago and saw that the unique log was moved. Is that something someone you all known has done intentionally? Curious if people are wanting to stop visitors. From what I understand, it wasn't moved. It is gone. And I think it was right after Rudy found the stick and then videoed the log. I think it was just a few days later. The entire log is missing.
Yeah.
I had the best theory that people had. I have my opinion on who, but I'm not going to name names. There's some people that have done soil analysis and other types of metal and particle analysis, and they may be wanting to do some analysis to see if that part of the log that was up against the chest had the metal whatevers. We don't know who did that.
Wasn't it on like 3 years ago?
Yeah, no, maybe. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. You said ask me anything and you put Chase. I want to talk about the whole amusement park. Let me continue.
Well, hang on. Zozo says all circumstantial evidence, no proof. Right. And so is your solve and every other solve. And that's why it's wrong.
Oh, wait a minute.
Period.
In my opinion, that it was found in Colorado or New Mexico or wherever, that's circumstantial. I'm not saying we have evidence that would meet someone's threshold because it's not their solve. We do have evidence. We do have Jack's emails, except if you believe Zoe and Carl are a liar. And we do have Condor, except if you believe that Reddit's not real. We have a lot, but we do have Jack that's going to be talking soon. But it's not even.
Well, unless you want to call Forrest Fenn a liar when he said it was in Wyoming. So Forrest Fenn himself ruled out New Mexico and the other two. So anyway, yeah, it's just why even argue about it at this point. It's okay to be wrong, everybody. I've been wrong. We all been wrong. Let it go. All right, go ahead, Gabriel.
Yeah, you invited this, dear sir. Okay, there is a new channel. This new channel is called Lost Treasure Story. And it sounds like a good old boy. He kind of narrates over the top. He puts a picture of himself. And he basically talks about legends all through all the states. And he has like this, basically old legends of gold and treasures that's still out there. So you can go in and say what state you're from, and then he'll do the next video he'll do on your state, which is really cool because that's what he did to me. I said, I'm in Nevada. And he's like, oh, I just did that one, pointed me to it. And there was a wagon and it had a bunch of gold in it. And then the guy died and there's a bunch of gold out here, Mike. This is like millions upon millions. Why are we looking for JCPs when there's a Wells Fargo wagon from 100 years ago?
Because that's what you call a legend. That's a treasure legend. And there might be a newspaper article or it might be something to back it up, but it's a treasure legend. It could have been found years and years ago and nobody said anything.
I'm doing a shout out to his channel because I think it's cool, the stories that he's telling.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah. What is it? Yeah. What is it called?
It's called Lost Treasure Story. And he's just starting up and he just gets a new channel going. And
on YouTube?
On YouTube, yes.
Lost Treasure Story. All right. Well, it must be buried here somewhere. Oh, there it is. I see it. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with talking about this stuff. It's just. Yeah.
This is the Treasure Hunt Amusement Park. I know you hate it since the Forrest Fenn ride is shut down years ago, but this is our okay. Let's talk about the broken ride. Come on, this is Forrest Fenn. So I was able, and I've already talked about this. Blackfin does seem to have Jack. There is going to be potentially a documentary, but it is a long time out. Cynthia's already said it's in pre-production, but I have asked for an official statement. So I was able to connect with them. They did confirm, they're moving along, but I asked them, can you give us any official statement that might help the entire community? Because them getting Jack is huge, in my opinion. Don't you think? No matter what he says,
if it happens, yes. If it happens, yes. If it happens, sure, that is huge. If Jack is a outlet to tell his story or even to say whatever he wants to say, that I watch it. I mean, it's Jack Stoof, the guy who actually sold Forrest Fenn's treasure chest to Justin Posey. So he's part of the story. He's part of the ending. So yes, I would be interested in his story.
Okay. Sure. So, and those of you that don't know, here's another thing. It's up on our Discord under the Fenn General. Lou B, he is one of the people they're going to spotlight. many of you don't know him. And so if you want to see it, I posted his latest. He like goes snake watching or collecting like all over the world. And so he just posted a new video of him going out to collect, like purposely put himself in front of snakes, which is so anti. See, I see a snake, I run away. He goes to an exotic country, he goes and finds snakes. So I think that tells you the kind of person that he is going to be depicted as, which is him, which is a little eccentric, a little different. He goes towards snakes. So anyway, if you want to check out his channel, he's a good guy. I've talked to him before. He's a hoot. But again, it'll be interesting at the least. I think we already know Justin pretty much. We already know Cynthia pretty much. But Justin's story, I think, or Luby's story, I think will be an interesting one. Chris Hurst, I don't know super well. I mean, I've saw his one article way back. I think, it'll be interesting to have some known and some kind of not as known. Okay.
Okay.
Let me keep going. Netflix. Let's do half of the. Okay, wait. Let's go to a non-chase.
There's no update on Netflix, is there?
No, but no news is
All
news.
right.
Like we're still looking at the very end of 2024.
Did you just say no news is news?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like someone asked me the other day, do you have any update on Netflix? And I said, no, I've heard nothing. They said, well, that's interesting that nothing has been revealed yet.
I guess. Okay.
I'm not saying it's huge. You want me to make some up?
We didn't put breaking news on the title of this video. We didn't put updates. We said ask us anything. So yeah, you can talk about whatever you want, K-Pro. That's fine.
Okay. Well, Michael O'Connell, who was, those of you that are old school, pre-find, you guys probably knew him as the policeman from the East Coast. He was like from Boston or New York or something. He has a cool accent. He is doing a treasure hunt. The only thing he will say at this point is there was some Q&A with him. He's on our Discord. He has bought some gold from us, so he is accumulating a treasure. He will only say it's over $100,000. There's huge. 2 books. Only. There is 2 books. One is more focused on family and taking kids to certain places. Sounds like it's an East Coast hunt. And he is right now patenting or copywriting the name of it, etc. We're just going to call it Michael's Hunt right now until we have a name for it. But that's cool that he's been working on it this long. We know he's bought some gold from us, so he seems pretty darn serious. And I think he said he finished one of the books. He's editing the other one or like finalizing the other one. He's going through the copyright right now. Hey, that's pretty cool, right?
That's awesome. If he can follow through and do it, that's great. That he's trying is awesome. So yeah, good job, Michael O'Connell. Paying it forward from the thrill of the chase.
Boom.
At this point, I really think that's what it's all about. People paying it forward in their own small way. That's pretty cool. Don't
you know Forrest hid his treasure in Mammoth Springs at Canary Springs? Okay, Billy Joe Jones, just because you tagged me, I recognize you. That is nice. I don't believe that. I am okay with you believing that. See how we can disagree and still get along?
We're right. Oh, and we can still get along. We can still be civil with each other. All that's fine. But here's the deal. Because Forrest Fenn's treasure chest was actually retrieved, you can never know if you're right. There's no proof.
But it was a different chest, Mike. It was a different chest. That's not true. We're waiting for 2.0. There's another chest. Or you were looking for a chest with gold. There's no golden chest. The real treasure was finding your lovely wife.
Well, there's something to that. Hey, the real treasure was the thrill of the chase and getting outdoors in the community. That's fine. I get it. But physically, it was about a box full of gold, and Jack found it. So Jack's the one that ended it. So everybody can be mad at Jack. Don't be mad at me. With people who say, I know my solve was right. No, you don't, because you didn't find it. How do you know your solve is right? Okay. How do I know 9 Mile Hole is right? I don't know 9 Mile Hole is right. I believe it's right based off the court case and some emails and some other things.
We're going to keep going because any questions you guys want at K-Pro and at Cowlazars. Let's go on to the next. Now, this is super interesting. Huli posted this in our Discord a few days ago. Dale, and this got like lost in the mix because I called Cynthia. I'm like, have you ever heard this? Because I don't remember this. So there's a guy, and I was able to converse with him or go back and forth with him over the last week. There's a guy that has a channel named Wander Learn, WanderLearn. Wander, Learn. He did an interview with Dale like June 1st, 2020. And then as he was getting it ready to be published, the treasure was found on the 6th. So he reconnected with Dale on the 8th. So the first half is like Dale talking about hypotheticals and where the chase is going and all that. And then he did an interview with Dale 2 days or 3 days after the find. Here's what I find fascinating. He did talk about hypothetically it being in Yellowstone, etc. There is one detail that I've always thought was super important and had a huge discrepancy that didn't make sense to me. So here is, and Dale is actually on this interview saying it. Dale said on June 6th in the morning, he received an email from Forrest saying, the treasure chest has been found. I'm putting a press release together. That'll be this evening. And Dale said, okay, I'm going to go take Esmeralda to the shop. I'll come back and announce it, when you give it to me. And he got that email about 7 p.m. at night.
Right.
Later, Dale says he was only notified at night. Now he says, like about a year or two later, he just says, oh, I don't remember. It's kind of like when JFK got assassinated, or where were you when ex-President Trump was almost assassinated? Everyone knew where they were. That Dale is saying that he forgot if he got an email in the morning or in the evening. I find that challenging to believe. But go and listen to it. The link is up on our Discord. Go and listen to it. I find it fascinating, all the things that happened to become the case. Dale stated it. So,
I mean, if Dale decides to tell a story, I'd want to listen. If Jack tells a story, if Shiloh tells a story about Forrest Fenn and the thrill of the chase, I'd be interested in that as well. Hang on.
Okay, is the lawsuit over? Sounds like it isn't. Did you say that Jack was speaking because he was testifying in court? Aaron, that was probably 2 years ago because we went to the trial. Jack tried to testify, and Yellowstone National Park superintendent intervened. Some people think that means because it was in New Mexico or Colorado, but for the rest of us, we know it was because it was Yellowstone. And he was going to be, there was an issue of his testimony. So he did not testify, even though he was willing, due to the intervention. Sorry, the term, but that's the technical term. The intervention by Yellowstone National Park, which was represented by the Department of the Interior and Department of Justice. It was actually both. They were represented then when it got filed in court. They had to file with the Attorney General's office out of New Mexico because it was a New Mexico court case. Okay, you guys got all that? That was you, Aaron King. Now, is there any lawsuits right now? Yes. Woodard, he's the comic book guy. He is still trying to figure out how to serve the client or the other side. I don't think he's had like a year to figure it out. His is going to be dismissed soon because he can't seem to figure it out. And then there was a new lawsuit filing against the estate. And I think that's going to be dismissed. It's time barred, so it'll be dismissed almost automatically. Will they refile against the family individuals? I don't know. But there you go. But speaking of lawsuits, anybody watch the Alec Baldwin trial? I watched just about the whole thing. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. And did you guys see that judge? Okay, so if you don't know, Alec Baldwin was a part of there's a Fenn tie here. Alec Baldwin was on a Western set that was in Santa Fe County. He shot a gun. They basically are trying to hold him to manslaughter. On day 3 of the trial, I'm really into the trials now because that's kind of my new thing. They turned and basically had some evidence that they shouldn't have had in. And Judge Summer, Sommer, Judge Summer threw it out. Alex Baldwin is free. We're all good. Now, here's the funny part. Summer? Who's Summer? Like Carl Summer, the representative for the Fenn estate? Yeah, that's his sister-in-law, the judge. Just a quinky dink.
Cowlazars, who's paying you to continue this? Well, nobody's paying us. Sorry for everybody who thinks somehow we're being paid by anybody. We're not. We think we have a right to know what the ending of the thrill of the chase was. That's what we've done for the last 4 years, try and figure out what the actual ending was. So we've talked to Justin and we've talked to Cynthia, and I don't know if we've really talked to Dale, but Cynthia and K-Pro went to the court case. We've been trying to piece together what happened, and we think it was 9 Mile Hole, but nobody's paying us. I mean, we just want to know the answer because we all love the thrill of the chase. So we're still trying to figure it out. And we think pretty much we have it. So I don't know what else we can talk about, but yeah.
Right. And to be fair, Mike gave in probably 2 years ago. He was over it, I think June 7th, but I think you hang in there for a little while until Forrest, I don't know, maybe a year in. Cynthia and I were into it a lot longer because I did want to know, not because I thought I deserved to know. If there's a way to know, we wanted to know because like Shiloh has said, it's not his high priority. He's not giving out the 9 clues. It's going to be fun, whatever he says. But like Forrest said, we're all he had left. His family wasn't a part of this. So we do
deserve the answer. Unfortunately, Zozo, you're right. Forrest didn't give the answer. So we're trying to piece it together because that's all we have. That's all we got.
So I will say Mike kind of threw in the towel years ago. I think the court case was the last really big one. Cynthia seeing the videos, that was pretty big, but not hardcore evidence. I know that Cynthia is still on the prowl. She may be, she's the one that said she may be going to see Dale again to see if Dale will actually maybe give a little bit more. Dale knows. I mean, Dale is where I hang my hat. If he said something, he wouldn't even need to show. I mean, it'd be great if he had proof, but I haven't seen, I would love to see whatever he has. Yeah.
C-Star says, you do have a right to know, but all the statutes of limitations have not yet expired, but we're close. Yeah. Well, which one hasn't expired? Do we know?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about murder, that never could be. And some people believe that Forrest was murdered or people were murdered or whatever. I'm just throwing it all out there. Yeah. The statute of limitations is absolutely ended for Forrest Fenn, who passed away, or his estate, because that was a 4-month window. The statute of limitations, if it is depending, if you're talking $1 million and you believe that, like Woodard believes that like Shiloh killed Forrest and like that's murder, so that could be forever. You don't have a time exemption for that. I learned that on the Thug Trials. That's another one I've been watching. So
yeah, it's a court TV is really taken off. It is interesting to watch this stuff when it plays out real time live, on court TV. So
Gotta Lemon says, when was the last time, Cowlazars, you were in contact with Forrest family or Doug Preston?
The last time I've never been in contact with Doug Preston. I don't think. I think you have, but not.
You met him.
No, I met him. Oh yeah, I met him. But I thought you meant contact like email. The last time I emailed Shiloh was probably about a year ago because there was a Forrest Fenn. There was a gold turtle necklace in an auction that supposedly Forrest Fenn had owned. And they said it was Forrest Fenn's partner and San Lazaro sold it to Forrest or something. So I emailed Shiloh and Shiloh verified that is correct. Forrest Fenn did own it. And I went up to $1,000 on it and I stopped and then Shiloh was like, I thought you were a gambler. Why'd you stop? He's like, it's worth like $3,000. Now I wish I would have got it, but it went up to like 12. It was just me and another person bidding on it. So I went up to 1,000 and stopped, but that's the last time I'm pretty sure that I've talked to Shiloh via email.
And if Gotta Lemon is asking Cowlazars like both of us, the last time I saw, I was having beers with Shiloh. Gosh, that's 2 or 3 years ago. Because Shannon, that was when I saw him. The last email, I think that I've gone back and forth is that was the one where he wanted everyone to know he has nothing to do with Stoof.com. He's not affiliated with the site. He wants nothing to do, like to be affiliated, like anyone that's saying it, because I gave him a quote of somebody who had said that he might be affiliated. He's like, no, not in any way, shape, or form. Please, get that out. That's the last time with him. Carl, this week, because I wanted to know, oh my gosh, that's your sister-in-law?
Because it was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. If you guys don't know, the Alec Baldwin trial was in Santa Fe. So K-Pro, you reached out to Carl to say, hey, you're a lawyer. What's this judge all about? And it's his sister.
Yeah, it's sister-in-law, married to his brother, because I've met his brother. So we were at it doesn't matter. I met his brother. So I met the brother that is married to the brother is a litigator. So 2 of the brothers, Carl, are all litigators. So they're not on the DA side. They are the David Steele of the group. And then the wife of the one brother is the judge, which is just super fascinating to me. Wait, one more question. Douglas Preston. The last time I saw him, we went to his book signing. It was Jens, myself, and him. And he invited me to Maine to go to his little cabin. And everybody was there when he said it. And I have it on film. I have not taken him up on that offer. I think he was just being fun. He's a really, really nice person. So anyway, okay. Read the first clue. I'm sorry. You go ahead, Mike.
Has anyone ever tried to interview Kraton to learn more about Skippy? Not that I know of.
Yeah. So what I did is I begged and pleaded with Dale, because Dale is still, rather close with Kraton because they knew each other for years before. And I said, can you ask, one, does he know anything more? And two, I'm sorry to say I did, is there any affiliation with DB Cooper? And Dale said, next time, this was like 3 years ago. And Dale said, next time I'm doing lunch with him, I'll ask him. I don't think you're going to get much. And it was probably, 3 or 4 months later. And he said, I happened to have lunch with him. I remembered your question. And he's like, no, he knows nothing more. And he laughed at the notion of the DB Cooper. So that puts Kraton and Zoe on one side and Shiloh on the other. I don't know. It sounds like there's mixed philosophies on that. I don't know. So go ahead, Mike. Is there any?
Not really. Oh, okay. You said Jens. Is there any update on Jens? Not that I know of.
Not that I know of. It's as much as Netflix. We just
disappeared. Yeah. Hopefully he's hard at work to get it out on time. That's what we're hoping. October is going to be an interesting month, isn't it? It's only 3 months away. So,
we'll I would say October, November, December are going to be interesting months, because Justin, the last we heard from Justin, he had a project. Some said treasure hunt. He would not confirm it was an actual treasure hunt. He no longer owned the dragon bracelet. It was not given to Amy. So it is something for this project. It's affiliated either with Nomatica or Netflix. He wouldn't really say. And it's a project that he has coming out. I haven't heard anything official that he is no longer doing it. So there you go. We may, there you go.
That's the rumor mill. And I guess that's the problem, is everything we talk about is usually rumor mill. So, and that's okay.
Yeah. Everything, even before, other than, I guess the channel could be only hints and clues that come out, and that's it. Of course, all we're going to, even pre-find, there was just a lot of, conjecture and thoughts.
Speculation. Right.
So we talked about Michael O'Connell. Do you want to talk about, Expedition treasure hunts just started back up. They just started hiding things back in national forts and public land. So I saw them. They just got back on our Facebook page. So when they have stuff come up, it looks like kind of like those sticker guys. It looks like they take a couple $100 or whatever. And I don't know exactly what they do, but shout out to them. If you are here, Expedition treasure hunt. So there you go.
Whatever happened to Justin and the wood in the chest?
He needs fulfillment in his life. And if he takes this is serious. I'm not making this up. If he looks under the wood, it'll take mystery out of his life. And the way that he needs to fulfill his life is the mystery of what could be behind the wood. So he sits and kind of ponders it. If he took the wood away, it would take away from his fulfillment in life.
So the answer is nothing. That's what happened. He didn't do anything that we know of. Publicly, he didn't do anything. So there it is, everybody.
Yay. Okay. The last two is some of the other hunts. So we have the Utah hunts. So, okay, I have been on, and I don't know the name of it, Mike, you can look them up. We've had them on. So here's the deal with the Utah hunts for me. I went with D-Pro. We almost went off a cliff because I went the wrong way. That was my fault. We actually went up an incline that was about 20% incline for about a mile. It was too much for me. David could have kept going. I couldn't have. This was about maybe 2 years ago. It ended up being on that road where you couldn't walk. We were going to rent ATVs, but we were hiking it. It was about 2.5 or 3 miles up. Several people have asked me if I will go boots on the ground for them because now they're doing a new hunt. I know that I'm not physically fit enough to do it. Now, they have said, I guess, I haven't researched this, the spot that it's at now is going to be less than that because they didn't realize how much they really were pushing people physically. Well, it was like a week or two ago. Somebody had to be like saved by helicopter or something because they were out and it wasn't as safe. I do believe their hunts are real. They're legit. They seem like good guys. I would say really use precaution, guys, especially when it's hot and out. Even for our hunt, the invitation, it is hot, guys. So just be careful. And I don't know what they're doing to the Utah hunt. Sounds great, but I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I just put the link, UtahTreasureHunts.com. So, I mean, it is legit. They've done this 3 or 4 years in a row, and they're giving away $25,000 cash. Whoever finds it gets $25,000 cash. That is legit. But if you go to the website and you look at the map they put up and the poem, and is it findable is the question. It's a little bit too far of a drive for me anyway. Capro would probably go if somebody could convince her where it was. But it's Utah. They have a boundary of where it is. You know, I know Denise Bagley was still working on it for a while. There's nothing. And I don't blame treasure hunts for people that put themselves in bad situations.
Well, no, and I don't either. But here's the thing for me. Mm-hmm. I was really pumped because I thought we knew where it was. Just like the one that was on top of the Las Vegas mountain. I couldn't make it. Right. And I was smart enough to say, I can't make this. I'm stopping on both of those hunts. You made it an extra maybe mile and you stopped. Chris even needed to stop. Dave is the only one that physically made it to the top. When you know you have a hunt like that, you know, it's not like Forrest saying go where a 70 or 80-year-old man can go. My experience is you have to be pretty damn fit to do a 3-mile hike. But I mean, that's 3 mile one way. You still got to get out of there.
It's uphill. Yeah, that's the problem.
Right. And it's under a pretty steep. I was stupid for doing the going off trail. I've done that a few times with my truck. And I've never flipped my truck, knock on wood, but that one, I almost went off the side. D-Pro was crying. It was bad. That was maybe 3 years ago, or 2 years ago. I'm just saying in general, when you know a hunt is telling you to push yourself physically, I'm just telling you guys that one hunt originator, I think, has a higher expectation than the average person. So be pretty fit when you decide to go on that hunt, in my opinion. So there you go.
There you go. But it is 25,000. So, you know, I don't think it can be easy. It's going to go on what, a month, I think, or so. So, and it's free. That's the other cool thing. It's absolutely free. They put out the hints and the clues, and whoever finds it gets it. Yep. So definitely not easy, but.
Yep. So there you have it. So that is my list of, we still have the invitation going up on Discord. I've put up a poll if you guys want another hint. Mike and I are debating that in a very healthy way. Mike's a little grumpy right now. So right now,
they're just as, I mean, I told Capro before we went live, I was like, we could do what the other channels do is just go live and talk for 6 hours and just have random people on it. But we don't really want to do that because I don't know. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's fine. But it always turns negative. Every one of these that I listen to, it turns negative after a while.
Well, no, but you're only listening to a past treasure hunt that no longer exists, that and we have no answers and it's not fun. There isn't many channels that are talking about this. George Ward talks about The Secret, a Copper Dam on his stuff. So if we start the discussions of, I want to talk about Xavier Marks, I'm frustrated by it. Some people on the invitation are frustrated by ours. What about The Secret? What has been found and what hasn't been found? I just got somebody that sent me a link to where the San Francisco cache is. And I'm like, is that kind of like Forrest Fenn's? Like, is it actually like still there? Has it already been found? What does that mean? We have Nick Sparrow that's going to do a second hunt, an upcoming hunt. We have Xavier Marks that may do another hunt. So, I mean, it's just all of those.
Xavier Marks is interesting. I think that would be one I could probably get back into. Like if we started doing video, because it's been out for 3 years. Obviously, nobody can find it. So if we were to start do videos on it, on Xavier Marks to see if somebody could make the connection and find it. I mean, that would kind of be interesting because it's not a big book. I mean, there's not a lot to go off of. So,
well, and here's what I think with Xavier Marks because of some other hunts. I'll just leave them nameless. Could it be that with Xavier, let's say there's 20 hardcore searchers that never swapped ideas or collaborated in any way. Do you think if those 20 came together that everybody has different pieces and all those pieces put together would break it loose?
For Xavier? Yeah, I think so. I think there are people that have solved a little piece that have never shared. But again, they don't want somebody else to go get it. But yes, I think if everybody actually shared everything, it probably would have a lot better chance of being found. And I think we overcomplicate it. I think that's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, for Xavier Marks, it has been 3 years. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure it's been 3 years.
I thought two something.
Yeah.
I thought
Anyway.
2, but
well,
2 or 3.
October.
I mean,
This October is either 3 years or 4 years. I'd have to look it up. But again, I think Hillary and Sean thought it was going to be found in the first 6 months. So why? Why haven't we been able to find it? That will be an interesting one when the solution comes out to talk about.
Well, and is it something, I feel like, is it something little somebody's missed, or is it something so significant you would still need to do a lot of work towards? I don't know.
Right.
I think it'd be interesting just to see, to revive that, to see and kind of have some of the exchanges on that. And then there's the sticker group in Las Vegas. Did you talk about that, Mike?
No, we never talked about that. Lori Barnes says, let's get back to the Beacon Star. That's another difficult one. That one, even with fresh eyes, that's a hard one.
Well, for me, I feel the big difference. You tell me what you think. I feel Beacon Star still needs years of work. Like when you guys found out, there's 22 sundials, but there still needs to be, there's like double the boots on the ground than anybody thought. I felt a collective wind out of the sails. Like that still has so much work to go. I feel like Xavier is close to being solved. There's just something critical missing.
Right. You would think. Pretty much.
Now, Benjamin says, what about the lead searcher? I hear he found the location, but is having trouble retrieving it. Which hunt, Benjamin Osmond? Which hunt are you discussing?
Oh, he means Forrest Fenn, of course, which doesn't make any sense, but that's okay.
Oh,
what lead searcher? Oh, unless he means Xavier. I take it back. If you're talking about Xavier, I take it back.
Yeah.
I thought you meant Forrest Fenn. Yeah. I mean, there are some treasure hunts that have just out there. There's 25 grand in Utah. There's 10 grand in New York. There's almost 8 grand or whatever it is in Denver. There's about 2 to 4 grand here in Vegas with our book. I mean, that stuff's out there. It's just hard. It's hard to figure this stuff out. Ours, I'm not going to comment on ours because I'll probably give something away. So I'm not going to comment.
Yeah, I don't want to, and I especially don't want people to have to go to the 38-minute mark here and find it. God, I have so much I'm going to say eventually on the invitation, because I am trying to convince Mike we need to do another one of these, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would be fun to do another treasure hunt, but if we do another treasure hunt, I don't think we give any hints. I think we made a mistake on stuff we've given away on the first one, so I don't think we go live and talk about it. We just put it out there, and if you find it, you find it.
Well, and this is kind of like post chase. We had a lot of little hunts going on, and we had the lulls of time between court cases and things with Forrest Fenn hunt. Right now, we're in, I think, and I know I said this last year, but our last lull, because we have JCB's hunt coming up in October. That's going to be a blast because there's 5 different ones. So even if one's found right away, which I personally think is going to happen, not by me, but by smarter people than me, we still have 4 more. By that time, end of the year, we probably most likely have Netflix. And then we have whatever comes after that. We have Michael O'Connell's, we have Justin's, we have, and then whatever comes because of those. So, yeah.
World Series of Fenn Halloween. Yeah, I don't know if we're ever actually going to do a meetup. I mean, we got to know details of what's happening to decide.
So I talked to or corresponded with so JCB has hired a PR firm. That PR firm, I talked to the PR rep of that PR firm that is representing JCB's hunt. She said that they are putting together like a full, I don't know if you want to call it junket or plan or whatever it is. He has to have a plan, especially if he has a PR firm. Some people write stuff down, make a plan, and actually get projects done, Jens. So he has done exactly, she has done exactly that. They are creating that, and now through the end of this month, and then that seems about right, then they're going to start rolling out. And they already have rolled out. They have a website. They have a YouTube channel. It's not public and all that yet. They do have a couple things already there, but it sounds like there's going to be a full rollout. There's going to be a book tour. I've already told them if they decide that Vegas can be on that tour, we will have an early WSOF. If not, that's okay. But we will be more than happy because I think a lot of people do want that if it's possible. So
there we go. There it is.
And it's not only going to be, and they didn't only tell us, they've told plenty of people I talked directly with them. I know somebody said, I said it first and you didn't give me credit for the JCB before. I don't care who did it first. When I contact them directly, I'm going to repeat what was said. Maybe somebody said it first. Maybe somebody said it second, third, fourth. I'm not going to spend my time of who said what first. I am just bringing it to you all. So it's kind of exciting. So it sounds like I don't know if he's going around the country or just parts of the country. I would assume the whole country, but I don't even know why I'd assume that. So he lives in LA. It'll probably start or end in LA would be my guess. Doug Preston's ended in Santa Fe. So for his last book tour. So we will see. I do know that they did say, and they said this to another searcher, Loco Lobo. He wanted his book signed, and they said you can't order your book signed because it's going through Amazon and all the book retailers. But you buy your book and you can bring it to the tour to get signed. See? There you go.
Chris got an interesting question. Does anyone else think we were supposed to find something spiritual? I think I did. He's talking about the Forrest Fenn hunt. I don't think we were supposed to find something spiritual, but I think if you did, then good for you.
Yeah,
I don't think Forrest planned anything spiritual.
I think it could have been for some. It could have been, this is a way to get my family out. And that's what Forrest talked about. Forrest talked a lot about getting out to nature. He never said you need to find yourself. Some people did. Some people had a lot of a spiritual journey and all of that. So
if you mean getting out in nature, yeah, that was the plan. That is what the Thrill of the Chase was about, to get outside and experience the forest and like Forrest did, So
yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So we still have lots coming. I know it's kind of downtime. I'm actually kind of excited now that people are conversing about some of these other hunts. It is interesting, and it's interesting the different ways. And Mike, I'm going to get you excited about. I will make you we will manage it however you want to manage it with hints and clues and things. But yeah. That? Like if we do a second hunt, if you don't want kids.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, I just think we gave away too much on the first one, but it's still not found. So maybe
it's not found.
All right.
So was Preston Posey one of the 3 individuals that made up Cesaro Sagrado and bought the chest from Stoof? Yes.
Was it 3?
I thought it was 4.
Yeah. But yeah, Justin Posey was one of the people.
Yeah, it was his family and friends. And they just did the LLC to offset any legal issues. And then no one sued them. That's what made it so funny. They actually set up the LLC for that reason, and no one sued, which is funny. So There you go. There you have it. There it is. Any last questions for the wonderful Cowlazars, who's excited today?
I'll be excited when I get JCB's book in my hands. That'll be exciting. I'll be excited when we watch Netflix. That'll be exciting. I'll be excited if something new comes up on Xavier Marks. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll get back to the Xavier Marks Zoom. It's been a long time since we have an Xavier Marks Zoom. Yeah, we have been working on the second hunt already, but not
But to be clear, we're going to need a lot of feedback. So to come up with, Mike does want an entire novel. We all know Mike gets whatever he wants. So Mike wants an entire novel this time, which is fine. We have the basic concept. Writing the book, that takes 6-8 months, but we need a lot of feedback from you guys on the first one to see, and we can refine it then. So I've been working a lot more heavily because I'm trying to complete the story of, if you have been in the invitation, who held the invitation? Who is that guy? Who is this JCB guy? And then what happened with Jack at the end of the Forrest Fenn hunt? Those things are going to be answered in the second book. We'll make it kind of a 2-part series and then done. But we need to hear from you guys what you liked and didn't like and that sort of thing to help kind of anchor it. But are we starting it? Have we been discussing it? I think we have quite a bit, right, Mike?
Talked it to death.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wait, are we talking about the invitation or Forrest Fenn?
Invitation.
Oh, no, we haven't talked that to death. But as the creators, I mean, should we talk about it? I could do a Zoom for the people that bought the invitation. We haven't done that in a while. and let you guys discuss among yourselves. Yeah, that's right, Candy. That's right.
And you have to, right now, you have to live at the pool. Because here's the other reason we've seen a slowdown in the invitation. We cooled down from 120, which is the highest temperature ever recorded since Las Vegas became a city.
The record.
This last week, it rained all day yesterday or day before yesterday. So, oh my gosh, we're down to 106 today. It's awful out there. It is terrible. I have checked on it. It's fine. And it was, and WSOP, Mike, is it over? Doug, hey, that gas?
The main event is down to the final table, which I think comes back tomorrow. So it's there are one or two other events, but yeah, for me and K-Pro, it's over. For all intents and purposes, it's over. So I think the invitation will be found come October when the weather breaks. That's when I think somebody will find it. End of September, October, right before JCB's book. That's probably when it'll get found.
Perfect timing. Hooli asked, was Matt by himself at Forrest on the day after?
Well, you know the answer to that, right?
Well, there's been some that are saying otherwise lately, and some people forget over 4 years' time.
Saying otherwise. What do they say?
Yeah, Matt was by himself. He left Forrest after he was thrown out by Zoe, which he said he never said, but oopsie, it was said to Dan Barbarisi later that day, and he went to Cynthia. Cynthia was not with him, as far as I know from what progressed and what was archived in Dan Barbarisi's book.
Go get it, Doug. Go get it. It's waiting to be found. Go get it. All right. So he left Forrest and went to Cynthia. She lived there in Albuquerque back then?
Wherever I don't think it was Albuquerque. It was just outside it. Yeah, like half an hour from. Yeah.
Right. And you said Cynthia's where? Did you say that?
No, I didn't. I said I heard eventually she's going to see Dale.
Oh, well, that's cool. I mean, that's something. If she can get some information, some new information out of Dale, that would be cool. That would be something to talk about.
I think personally, like I've said all along, we said 6 to 9 months. I said kind of early on that wasn't going to happen. I didn't think Shiloh was going to give us the answers. Shiloh's confirmed that. I don't think Stoof.com is going to give us the answers. I think that's kind of
Stoof.com is a troll. Stoof.com.
Right. We've said that for a year, though. I mean,
the troll website where at the end it's going to be surprise. You know what I mean? I just wonder, is the person or people behind Stoof.com ever going to come forward and say, this is it's us and this is why we did it? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Well, Chris told you he couldn't say if it was him, but wait for Shiloh. So I think they're waiting for. I think Chris is waiting for Shiloh.
Oh no! So
okay.
Yeah. I didn't put that together, but that could be.
Yeah. So I think our only shot is Dale. Maybe Doug Preston might know a little something because I think, and I don't know where I know this, so don't hold me to it. I think Doug did have lunch with Forrest post find. I think he told us that at the book signing, so he had talked to him. I didn't think Cynthia was curious about other possibilities. Hooli, the only other possibility. So Matt said it was only, or he never mentioned other people, and the only people that made it to her house was Matt. So
did they go live too that night?
Yes, with us. Don't you remember? Everyone was like, "You're laughing so hard," because she was making jokes and things like.
No. Oh yeah. When we went live, when the treasure was announced found, they came on the show. That's right, and they were together. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I did forget about that.
Who's Matt? Evan, that's Smell the Sunshine.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. He was going to be in Netflix. I've heard him and Amy both maybe having little parts, but they're not going to be any of the main storylines like they were in the beginning. It's only going to be the other two Nookers, which was Justin and Cynthia. They'll have different storylines because I don't.
How things change, but as long as it's good, I don't care who's in it. As long as it's good, we'll see. We'll see. All right, I guess that's it. Everybody.
As long as we set our expectations. Like, let me ask you this, Mike. If I said to you two different things, I'm going to give you two scenarios. Netflix is going to give you the answers of what happened with Jack, whether he was nudged, what happened with Forrest, what happened with the chase, and where it was found. That's one. Mm-hmm. Or Netflix is going to be a cool little story about 4 different treasure hunters and their experiences, a little bit from the family and the attorney that's kind of vague and just says how inspirational Forrest was, but really nothing more. 2, depending on which one is in your mind when you watch Netflix is whether I think you're going to be disappointed or not. I personally believe that Netflix is going to be awesome because I've set my expectation of I'm going to watch some cool camera work, some cool story development and character arcs and all of that. But I'm not setting my mind that it's going to be more. Right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we're not going to get answers. We're not going to get the answers, I think, that we all looking for. But when you're like you say, when you know that going into it, I just hope it's cool stories. Like I want to hear Lou B's story, Chris Hirsch's story. I don't really know those stories too much. I kind of know Cynthia's story, but maybe she'll say something new in the doc that we haven't heard before. And Justin, we kind of know Justin and Cynthia's stories just from talking to them. Right. But maybe there'll be something new. Maybe it'll be something that we haven't heard before.
Well, Evan says, hope he's not one of those guys who post music videos and clips of movies that don't relate and don't explain how. No. So Matt, Smell the Sunshine, if you go back on his old videos, he actually would dive into the book and take all the pieces. And he got a good valuation on, he had some incredible videos, probably the best quality of anyone in the chase. So he would take factual things. He did have a cool little in the background, but nothing like some of the stuff now, nothing like it. I mean, he really did some good, solid work.
And then there's Mama Q, who confirmed with Shiloh that he isn't giving fun and answers. Did anybody say that?
I did. No, he said he's not giving the 9 clues and he's not giving the location, but he has some, and he said to at least Cynthia and I and Shannon, he was going to give answers about what happened with the bracelet, how his grandfather died. In his book, he's going to give some of the history and the provenance, which is fun. We did talk about how fun it would be if you owned like the necklace or something.
Right.
He said it differently than Forrest. Shiloh said when we were at dinner with Carl, him and his father, meaning David, went out and got a lot of those items from gun shows, etc. It wasn't Forrest. Now, Forrest said different, but it doesn't even matter at this point. It would be fun to hear the provenance. So that kind of fun and the answers of like, how did Forrest really pass? Those are answers, and I wouldn't say that is as fun, but that'll clarify. And then the emerald ring, Zoe told Cynthia it wasn't Forrest to give, and her sister took it out of the chest before it was found. And because it was a family heirloom, there's some little part of that may not be correct because Shiloh says he wants to clarify the statement. Cynthia said, can we do it now? Because I'm the one that put it out there. And he said, no, we'll wait for the book. So those are that's what's coming, or what sounds what's coming. But he did confirm, I think a lot of us were expecting when he said he knows 70% or whatever, he was going to be giving out more of the answers, the epicness of it. Maybe it's DB Cooper. We don't know. There could be something big because he is the only one in the family or friends that has at least had some fun with when he asked me, those of you that don't know this story, I know some of you are new, when he said he would answer everything. Once we said we wouldn't use the word intervention, as long as we use family meeting, he would answer any question. And I asked him a ton. I asked him about ha, ha, ha. He said, absolutely not. I asked him about, I don't know, just a ton of questions. And the one that he would not answer, I said, is your grandfather associated with DB Cooper in one way or another? And he stopped and laughed. He said, did you notice I didn't answer that? And I laughed. I said, so what's the answer? You said you'd answer anything. And he laughed. He just wouldn't answer. So I think there's something associated with DB Cooper, and that could be in the book. We just don't know. So we have decided it's not a huge thing until it comes out. We know for sure Netflix is coming out. He won't even confirm if he's doing the book anymore, if he's doing anything anymore. So we're going to more focus on the things we know, which we've confirmed with Netflix. We confirmed with Blackfin. We confirmed with Michael O'Connell. That's why a little bit we're putting to the side Justin, because Justin hasn't confirmed lately, much like Shiloh. He hasn't confirmed lately really anything, just like Justin. So we're kind of putting that on the background for now. But there's your answer.
So fun and answers is a very subjective thing. What's fun and answers to Shiloh might not be fun and answers to me. And what's fun and answers to me might not be fun and answers to you, Mama Q. So it's very subjective. So we'll just wait and see. That's all.
Well,
but hang on.
Oh,
Shiloh did say he's not coming out with a solution. And he's not coming out with the 9 clues. So There you go.
Right.
But
and that's what I was going to say is Shiloh clarifying what most, and I've been saying this for 4 years or at least 3.5. The answers I want is what happened at the end with Jack and all the, did he leave it? Didn't he leave? All of that happened. Was there a nudge? Was there not a nudge? Where was it found? Can those videos come out, etc.? Or him at least confirming it's 9 Mile Hole. Now that he has specifically excluded to answers, it is not answers to the chase in relation to the solution or the location. That helps a lot of people understand what's not included. So,
and if he has scrapbooks that haven't been released before from Forrest, that's fun. That is fun. I'll read them, but everybody's going to take them to mean that their solve is correct, etc. Everybody's going to interpret them different ways. So, but if he, I mean, that's pretty cool. If he has scrapbooks, and I don't know if he does, I think somebody mentioned maybe that could be it. If he has some scrapbooks that weren't released, wouldn't Dale have them though? But who knows? Maybe Shiloh got them off the computer. Maybe Shiloh has them.
Well, I think it's actually the binder because of the rest of the cease and desist that happened. But even outside of that, Shiloh told me and Cynthia and Shannon, I think it was that visit. It might have been me and Cynthia's visit. I don't remember which one. No, it was the day of the, I don't remember which one. I talked about it when it happened. He said, I've been at 9 Mile Hole and fished with my granddad. So is my whole family. Maybe he's going to tell some personal stories of him and his family at 9 Mile Hole. That would be cool. I mean, it won't be, it'll be fun, but again, setting expectations. That's all.
Yeah. And that's why it's not 9 Mile Hole, because he was there with his family. Actually, that doesn't discount 9 Mile Hole. But anyway, we didn't say Shiloh was not coming out with fun and answers. We just said it wasn't the solution or the clues. Yeah. That's all. So we'll see. We'll see what we'll see what he comes out with.
Robert, I'm not even reading that one. No, the answers. No.
Yeah, mental illness is a real thing, people. It's just sad. It's just sad.
Yeah. Well, and but the good part is though, there was a time that the biggest, best ride at Disneyland was the Matterhorn. And then now they have whole different lands and Star Wars land and this land and that land. This is just life keeps on going. That's all. It's not horrible. It's just a new day, a new time. We have a bigger, I don't know if it'll be better, especially to some of us that have already been through one, a big ride. JCB's hunt's coming up. That'll be huge. And it's 5 different hunts. So even if one gets solved right away, I'm going to put right now, my guess, one of them will be found within a month. Unless there's some governor of way that we can't get to it until I don't know. So.
Okay. Okay. So Mama Q clarified. Shiloh said he wasn't coming out with the answers and the solution. To whom did he confirm this? Who did he say that to?
Lee, who is a lawyer and was on Brian Gates' show. Yeah.
So she called Shiloh at work. If you believe Lee, again, I don't know if Shiloh's ever confirmed the what Lee said, but watch Brian Gates' YouTube channel because she was on there and said that this is what Shiloh told her over the phone. So,
did you all know Preston's book on Monsters of Florence is being produced as a movie by Netflix? I did not know it was Netflix, but he talked about this during the book signing, which if you hear the story that he just told, he got pulled over because there was like a corrupt cop system there and he was detained and he went to the guy's house, the guy that's actually the monster of Florence, and was like, we think it's you. And he's like, under legal direction, I'm not allowed to say the exact words that were said. He's like, we knew we were standing there with the biggest serial killer that they had ever seen in that entire region, not country, region. And he's like, we needed to get out of there. Just the story he tells. Now he's a storyteller. I can only imagine. So, but it's been on the docket for a while. I didn't think it was Netflix. I thought it was like I thought it was like an actual movie, like a movie production company, but I don't know. So anyway, There you go. There you have it.
Actually, your wife did say that. Right. She said that because Lee said it. We're passing on what somebody else said, right?
But we've clarified, so we don't need to go back over it again and again.
There you go, Mama Q.
Come on.
Take it with it what you want, or don't. We don't really care.
Yeah.
But we're repeating what somebody else said, which is what every other YouTube channel.
But everything that we have from Ben, Candy, Cynthia, it's all a repeat of it. The only thing we have directly from Shiloh is in our chat, and some people didn't even believe it was him. clarifying what 3 years ago in our chat. We don't, some people say, no, that was not Shiloh. We don't have Shiloh like using his, but except for Dale, where he put out that Jack was the finder, retriever, etc. That came out directly. We don't really have anything directly from Shiloh, right?
Yeah, not much. Yeah, not much other than, I don't know. We have eBay, but I don't think the eBay stuff is fun and answers. So
I know some thought that there was clues within the eBay auction wording. I don't personally. I'm okay if you do, just like Stoof.com. If you believe Stoof.com is Shiloh and it gives you 2.0 and you're going to get a treasure chest and it's all the answers. I know Ben has put his entire reputation on it. Cool. I just don't personally think it. That's all.
There you go. All right, everybody. I think that's it. By the way, that's Florence, Italy. Not a weird doc about Forrest Fenn. Well, thanks, Packer Jack. Appreciate that. Okay, everybody, that's it. That's an hour. We'll be back when there's something to talk about. I say we talk about Xavier Marks. Let's jump back into that one. That could be interesting just to see it after we put it down for over a year. See it with fresh eyes and start from the beginning. Maybe it could be fun. We'll see. Okay. Anything else, K-Pro?
That's it for today.
All right. See ya. Thanks, Billy Shaw Jr. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Make sure you subscribe and thumbs up.
There is something coming next week that I would like ask as a little favor. So please tune in next Monday. Little favor for everybody in the community. We're all about helping others in the community. So tune in next week because we're going to ask a little favor of you all on behalf of another searcher. And I don't mean to be cryptic. I don't have the information yet. Once I have the information, but someone asked, can you help me out with something? It'll only, take a few seconds and it could really help me out. A known searcher in the community. And I said, yeah. So we'll have it next week and we will update you then.
Okay, Mommy Q says I watch Brian Gates and listen to Lee. It's just everyone listen, re-listen. Well, there you go. That's fair enough. Go listen to it for yourself and make your own decision. Fair enough. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye guys.